Sorry to have to make this a two-part video, but we did get interrupted there, and that first part did cover who the bike is for. So, things about the bike and my overall review. I would say that the size is amazing. If you are a smaller person, you need a smaller bike, and they just don't make enough of them out there for us. It's great to be able to put your feet on the ground. The weight is really good. B plus on weight. If size gets an A, weight gets a B plus. This thing comes in at about 215 pounds, which for a motorcycle, this is not, it's a moped, that's a damn low weight. It does have a steel frame, so realistically, it probably could have been 25 to 40 pounds lighter if they had used aluminum, but that would jack up the price. So I don't know if that trade-off is a good thing. Price, I will give it a B plus compared to the other things like it, and a D plus compared to gas vehicles. Like, if you're going to compare this to a 250 motorcycle, which is completely reasonable at $3,000, especially if you're looking at a used one, but even with some of the cheaper new ones, the gas one's going to outperform it in every way, except it's not going to be silent, it's not going to be as good for the environment, it's not going to smell clean, and it's not going to have that blissful electric torque that you get during the first 25 to 30 miles per hour like this guy does. Although it'll probably accelerate roughly the same, it just won't be that, that feel of electric speed where you just really pick up. So B plus compared to other electric mini motorcycles or mopeds, I would say that for $3,000, you're getting a reasonable deal with this thing. It's only really when you compare it to gas-powered things that it starts to show a lot of the flaws and the holes. But if you're looking for something electric, this thing is probably the best $2,500 or $3,000 that you can spend. The acceleration on it is fantastic in that 0 to 30 band, and it's mediocre in that 30 to 45 band, as the electric motor's torque just is not as good as a gas-powered engine's horsepower once you're already moving. The braking is very good, so I would say the acceleration's probably gets a solid B. The braking gets a solid B as well because it's only 215 pounds. It's got plenty of braking power. Now, a little caveat on that, I'm only 150 something pounds, my girl's only 130 pounds, so maybe we think that the braking is better than it actually is. The handling, give it another solid B. The weight distribution is pretty low on the bike because the engine is low right here, and the battery is low right here, so most of the weight of the bike is lower to the ground, giving you a lower center of gravity. Now again, we don't weigh very much, so maybe when a 250-pound person is on this bike, it doesn't handle nearly as well because so much of the weight is up here, but the handling sure feels good with somebody who is a lighter rider. Next thing would be range. Give it an F plus. That's the thing with batteries right now. They just, unless you buy a really, really expensive, really, really good one, and even then, you're still only going to get moderate range, you get bad range. So the range on the City Slicker in power mode is about 25 miles when you're driving it the way you want to, which is for fun, getting on the throttle and really enjoying yourself. So you got to have a short commute, or you got to be driving someplace where you can plug it into the charger. And even when you get there, still sucks because it takes a long time to charge. It takes like 5 hours for a full charge. So the range on this thing really makes it just a city bike, and that's okay, that's what it's for, but I look at the City Slicker as more of a proof of concept, like the idea that they can slap some lithium-ion batteries and an electric motor together and build something that's actually functional. Unfortunately, it's very narrowly functional. It's only functional if you're a smaller person who has a short commute and lives in a city and doesn't go over 45 miles an hour. You kind of see where I'm going with this. If you are that person, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Build quality, I'd give it a solid B. It feels sturdy, it feels good. I mean, obviously, when you hit some bumps, you can hear some of the, plastic parts moving a little bit. You think to yourself, okay, well, this clearly is not a $10,000 or $15,000 motorcycle. This is a $2,500 electric scooter that has been fashioned into a mini motorcycle. Instrumentation is good. The control location is all quite good. I give that another B. It all feels like everything's roughly in the right place. Maybe I'd move one or two things. And the readout seems to be most of what you would want to know. I don't think there's too much more information. It's mostly clear. Probably be a little brighter, but honestly, it's pretty. We have a lot of sunlight here in Denver, so I'm sure in most places it's plenty easy to read. So overall, I would say that my score for the City Slicker is probably a C+. And frankly, if it had the range, I'd give it a B+. So if range is not a big concern for you, then this thing will definitely feel and perform great. I do mostly look forward to the next iteration. I'll leave you with this. If you know what a one-wheel electric skateboard is, the thing with the wheel in the middle, I bought one of those when they first came out, and I feel the same way about the City Slicker as I do about this. I now own One Wheel's newer, smaller, cheaper, faster, longer range, better skateboard called the One Wheel Pint, and I think that this feels kind of like the original One Wheel, with a better battery, maybe a more powerful motor, or perhaps just a better controller that lets that better battery dump more juice into this current motor. All of the problems of this vehicle kind of evaporate because your range improves, you get better acceleration with that extra power to spend, better top end with that extra power to spend, and everything else about the bike is pretty good. Not to mention the price will probably be, the same or even lower if battery prices continue to drop, because I think like 50% of what you're paying for here is this big ass battery. It's like $1,200 to get a new battery from CSC, and the bike's only $25. So, this thing is one impressive battery upgrade away from being the best thing on the market in this price point. So, if everything works out for you, go ahead and buy one. If range is the concern and you need a little more speed and you need, a little bit more acceleration, maybe you're a heavier person or you intend to ride with two people, or you just like to go real fucking fast, then I would say give it a year or two and see what the City Slicker looks like with the next evolution of lithium-ion batteries, because that City Slicker is probably going to be fucking awesome. Anyway, that's my review of the CSC City Slicker. If it's right for you, buy it. It's super fun. If it's not right for you, wait until they get this battery thing figured out and then definitely buy it.